Welcome everyone to Dokeycraft episode 6, and as you can see, we started off the episode with a massive build. We were able to do the main castle walls of this base. As you can see, there's a nice open area here. We ignore the stuff here that I used to build the base. Got extra rooms down here. I made sure to put some light sources as well because it got pretty dark here and mobs were spawning. But as you can see, we've got the main walls up and going. We've even got the outside wall, or the second wall I should say, up and going, which is really good. As you can see, there's still a bit of terraforming I need to do. Like, I need to connect the mountain to this area here and up to that side as well. So that will be happening sometime shortly, as I need to do terraforming as one of my next things. As you can see, I've got a bit over here to do as well. But as we come down here, you'll see that we got the main entrance done. There's more terraforming, as you can see over here, that I also need to do. But this whole entire place worked out really well. This here is the main entrance. If you guys have seen Lord of the Rings, this is the doorway that the orcs were able to barge through. And it turned out very well. I'm really happy with how it turned out. As you can see, I did actually do the outsides. You still got this area to do, but that's because I need to do some terraforming in order for that to work. One of the next steps I need to do is to actually cover this entire lake with grass. It needs to be all flat and it needs to be covered in grass because this here is going to have a staircase that heads straight down to the ground, as well as these walls here are going to head straight down to this water level. So that's why I'm going to need to cover this whole thing in grass, as Helm's Deep is in like a massive open area and there's no water nearby. It took a lot longer than what it looked like to build, as it was so painful, especially the staircase. This staircase here I was building down. Like, I had to get underneath using scaffolding and everything. We still need to find deep slate emerald ore, which I could go on a hunt for now, which I might do. However, it's going to be painful to get, so let's hope we can find some. My idea for finding deep slate emerald ore is to find a snowy mountain sort of like this, and then to find a cave nearby that goes straight down to deep slate. And for this, I am going to put on full bright to make it a little bit easier to find these deep slate emeralds. There is also some deep slate coal here, which is rare. It isn't as rare as a lot of things, but I'm still going to collect it because it's something that I do need for my system. We have found some normal emeralds, but that's not what we need. We need deep slate. Okay, surely there's got to be some in this area. This is just a massive frozen area, so this is the most common place for emeralds, I guess, to spawn, so we need to find a cave that goes down. You can see that on the F3 menu, I'm still in the snowy slopes area. And that is what I want to stay in order to find the right stuff. Bro, this... We just found it! We just found it! The witch is protecting it. I don't really like the sound of that. Can you guys leave me alone? He had thorns, but there is no way we just found it. We have acquired deep slate emerald ore. Now let's get out of here before we die. Base isn't actually too far away as well. Like, there's Jace's base. Starkin's base should just be over here. That only took us 15 minutes. I'll actually take that. That was a very short trip in order to find this deep slate emerald ore. We have now collected basically every ore in the game which wants to be stored in here. So now legit the only things left for me to collect are all the armor trims. Obviously I won't be able to finish all these armor trims on. There is still quite a bit of pain that I need to go through to get the really rare ones. However, there are a couple which I might be able to get, which I'm going to attempt to get now. So if we look at the missing ones that we still are needing, we need Vex, we need Silence, we need Tide, we need Snout, we need Rib, and that is it. So Snout, Rib, and Tide are going to be two that I can easily get. However, Vex and Silence are the two really difficult ones that we're going to struggle to get. Now, Tide is dropped by an Elder Guardian, which I don't think there is any left in the Ocean Monument. I wonder if we can find any in here. If I get Minor Fatigue, then I definitely know there is one in here. I don't think there is one in there. We'll have to look for another one. Here we go. Hopefully this one isn't raided. I should have brought Water Breathing, but obviously I haven't. Here you are. So these guys have a 20% chance of dropping it. So let's see if we can get it first try. I don't think we got it. No, we didn't. Okay, let's see. Second attempt. no, didn't get it again. There are legit 3 near our base. There's another one right there. I still haven't got it, bro. Are you serious? I got it! Let's go. Now I need to get out of here. I only had to kill 4 Elder Guardians for that. Now we have the nether ones to deal with. So we got the nether ones, which is Snout and Rib, which I found in, I believe, in bastions and nether fortresses. So we're gonna have to go explore. I have traveled quite far in the nether, so I'm hoping that these chests haven't been raided. Now, we've got another smithing template upgrade. I may as well take all this because this isn't bad stuff in there. Oh my gosh, we just got that first try. We also got some decent other stuff. Got Snout. Don't really need much of this. I'll take the magma cream maybe, and a crossbow because we need that. But basically what we came for, we got first try. We got another one as well. I think I've actually already collected some, but I lost it when I died. Like, look, I've got 4. They don't seem very rare, if I'm being honest. And a diamond pickaxe, I'll take that. We found a fortress. And now I think we look through the chests until we find the rib armor trim. Now, I don't know how long this is going to take because we need to explore this whole entire fortress for chests. Oh, we got it! Let's go! No way. We now have the Snout and rib armor trim, leaving 2 left. Vex and Silence, the 2 hardest armor trims to get in the game. And I'll see us when I arrive back at base. Now, I will collect the final 2 at some point, but I am not going to do that now because that involves a lot of work and I've got quite a bit I want to achieve this episode. I want to build a gas farm at some point, which I might do next. However, there is one more thing I want to do before I build a gas farm, and that is improve the storage system on the gold farm. It's a very simple task and I won't show much of it. However, we do tear through the storage and it's hard to create stuff. Like gold blocks, for example. It's so time consuming just sitting there crafting things, so I want to upgrade it a bit to make it so it kind of does it on its own in a way. So what I've done at the moment is I did get rid of all the chests along here. And so the next step I need to do is to actually add some shulker box loaders, 3 times speed as well. This will help out sorting all the gold nuggets into shulker boxes, making it easier to craft. So right here, what we've got is an item shulker box loader. So basically, if you remember up here, there was this ice path which the items came flowing down. But what I've done here is I've basically upgraded it. So now it's at 3 times hopper speed, meaning that all the items can keep up with this as they come down and then get sorted into shulker boxes. I'm on a testing world right now and I'm going to try and figure out if this works. So I've got a little machine here full of shulker boxes which have slime blocks in them. Hopefully with the press of this button, all the slime blocks are then shot out below. It does destroy the shulker box, but it will be worth it, making it so much quicker. Now with a little clock system added to this, it should shoot out the yes, it does, it works. If I time this correctly, I'll be able to collect all the items, craft them into gold ingots from the gold nuggets, put them into another shulker box, and then the next load will come, making it a lot more efficient. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick little AFK session in the gold farm to also make sure this part of the farm works. It's also going to be because I am running low on golden nuggets to test this all out on, so I want something to actually test this farm on. It's very loud, but I'll be back with you once I have done this. So we are back, and we've got quite a bit of golden nuggets here. There is one thing that I've also added to this. It looks a bit messy at first, but it's actually going to help a lot more with crafting. If I put a couple of these shulker boxes into that dispenser there, and I come in here, what I'm able to do is press this button, and then press this, and it will destroy the shulker boxes, giving me all the gold nuggets, making it easier to craft all these gold ingots. I think it's time we work on the storage system in our base now. Yes, I did say that there was going to be a gas farm in this episode, but I might save that towards the end of the episode, and we are actually going to work on our storage system. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. I finally figured out a way that I want to do this, and so I want to get started on organizing this. May take a couple episodes, but still it'll be something really handy to have. So here I am at the base, and yes, there is still quite a bit, probably more mining I'm gonna have to do in this area. This area is obviously big enough. It might be a bit too big. It gives room for all the redstone underneath the system, as well as above it. I've given a little bit there as well, but the outside might need to be a little bit bigger. We do, however, have all the materials basically already set. I will need some more slime blocks, however, so I might have to make a slime farm at some point. But that's later on. I want to get the start of this farm ready. Now for all those redstone nerds out there. As you can see, I've been working a little bit on storage systems, trying to figure out which one to go with. And obviously there are going to be certain ones that are going to be sharing a chest system and won't need shulker box loaders. And then obviously there's going to be the shulker box loaders, which will be for items such as stone, dirt, all those objects that we're going to be collecting heaps of. So that's why this little system here is going to help out with that. As you can see, I've already got a little design up and going to make it look good as well. To show it, basically this is the bottom part. Doesn't seem like anything too big, but what this does here is it enables shulker boxes to be exposed. So this is what you'll be seeing. You won't be seeing any of the redstone because that will be hidden by the wall. You'll be able to gather shulker box of items from each of these shulker boxes, and obviously you might need a full shulker box. That's where this comes into play, where you can actually grab full shulker boxes. But if you only need the items, you can just grab a couple out of the exposed shulker box here, or shulker box display. But then once it's empty, you actually can press that button. It will then fire out that shulker box, which it won't fall in the void in the actual one. There is going to be a water system here collecting the shulker boxes and then taking the shulker boxes back through a little system I've got down here. This here sorts out the stackables, shulker boxes, and non-stackable items in the game. I've got 4 items here. I've got a sword, a stack of jungle logs, a shulker box with spruce logs, and an empty shulker box. Basically, if I chuck in all of this stuff into this chest here, it will actually organize it all into its separate category. I'm actually going to make this a little bit quicker by just taking out 32 of these logs, adding that back in. But you can see now that this is all being used, you could hear the shulker box get disposed. There it goes up there, and you should see them appear here. Yep, and that's it getting emptied. While that gets emptied, you come over here, you'll see that the non-stackable item actually got sorted into this chest here. And then over here, you'll see that these items got put into this dropper, which is where all of the stackable items go, as well as the items in the shulker box will go there, and then the empty shulker boxes will be disposed there. So it separates all of the items. And eventually, they will end up in these little areas here. You've already seen this bottom half. It shows exposed shulker boxes as well as shulker boxes in here. This part up here actually fills the shulker boxes. So if I have a look in here, there is nothing in there. If I get a stack of redstone blocks and it goes through this sorting system, it will go down to 41. As you can see, because that's when this system locks the hoppers off. And in this shulker box, it will have the items in it. You can see 23 of it, because 23 plus 41 equals 64. If I was to fill up this shulker box, so eventually it will fill up. Let me just take out a couple of these items. So that there is a shulker box that is almost full. Once I put in these 10 items, let it go, you'll see that it will push this shulker box into the hopper, just like that, and it will end up in this chest. So that's how the shulker boxes are going to get filled up. And obviously this ice track here is where the items will be pushed. As you can see, this is a little bit messy here, but it kind of explains what I'm trying to do. If I grabbed these redstone blocks, I can put it into this dispenser and it'll actually shoot out all the items. And then this bottom part is on like a clock system. That clock system over there, which will push the redstone blocks out using the honey block and the slime blocks. As you can see, the items appear here and it pushes them down and it will slide across the ice. Let me move this. It will slide across this ice, and then the hoppers will actually pick them up along the way. And obviously, I will make a better clock system up the top here. Down here is a little hopper clock system. This system up here is just to delay this, so then any excess items here will actually be shot out instead of being stuck there and then eventually despawning. This will actually give it a little bit more time. However, I will fix that in the future. I was just a bit lazy. If I was to show you, this here is redstone. See that they get shot out and then they'll be picked up by this hopper because the items will be halfway on the ice and halfway on the hopper. So they'll be picked up just like that. And it's at the perfect time as well, so these won't actually overflow. As you can see, as the items come down, this will finish up and it will come back in. So yeah, that is kind of what I've got on mind that I want to do for this storage system. Obviously, this is just one. I'm going to have many of these across, which will have all of the shulker box loaders for all the items I want. And then there's going to be the other items, which I'll worry about in a different episode. I want to focus on the beginning of this, which are going to include multi-item sorting systems, which are painful to find, especially when you're looking at a paper server trying to find the right sort of redstone which can last. That's why I've kind of had a little bit of a testing out with these different sorting systems. I've had a look at this one. These are by different creators. Their links will be in the description. But this one here is a multi-item sorting system with an inbuilt shulker box loader. It's also got the displays up the top as well. However, this doesn't work on paper servers and is a little bit difficult to build. This is another build down here which I've tested out a little bit as well. I've added in my own clock system in the side here. It's got these little loaders as well. This can sort every single item, including stackables, non-stackables, and shulker boxes. This allows me to chuck them in down there and they'll get picked up by the sorting system. However, this is another farm that won't work on paper versions. It uses allays, this farm, to sort out non-stackable items. So if I chuck in 3 swords, for example, you should see that they'll get sorted and shot up into this water system here at a slow pace because it gives the allays a cooldown for all the items that are coming through. And there goes the first item. Then obviously it waits a bit, giving a bit of a cooldown for the allays. Yep, and then over here you'll see that the allay with the sword in its hand will pick up this item when it falls down and will put it into this hopper right here because it's got a clock system which has the note blocks here. If I was to add allays to my system, I would connect this up with a clock system which will only turn on the note blocks when the items are being sorted, so then they don't continuously go off and eventually annoy me even when the system isn't sorting out any items. So yeah, that's kind of what I've experimented with so far. So this is what it's kind of going to look like when you have multiple of them in a row. You can understand on how this works a little bit more. You can see a bit more on how the water stream will work with the shulker boxes falling down into them. And yes, the shulker boxes shouldn't get stuck in here because if I press this button, you'll see that it piston pushes it down there for it to be collected and not falling into the void. So if I put in both the redstone block and the redstone dust at the same time, it does work. But if they go at exactly the same time, that's when it actually will start to break a little bit more, and as you can see, they come down into these dispensers. Put down redstone torches here. I forgot to actually put that down there. What the redstone torches do, it actually stops a lot of the boxes getting thrown into the dispenser. You can see that there is a shulker box here and there's only one box in the dispenser, so then the dispenser doesn't actually fill up. It also saves a bit of time having to look in the dispenser instead of the chest. The hopper does get a bit clogged up here with the boxes coming through, and they'll get clogged up a bit here, but you could always free up the room. Either way, we'll figure something out. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've got the idea of what I want to do. Obviously, I'll probably only be building about 20 of these maybe. As if we come over here, you'll see that these are the items here that I want to be stored in a shulker box loader. And as you can see, these are all the other items sorted into their own category. Just like Dokeycraft, I have all the items sorted out. But specifically these I want to put in shulker box loaders. I might add some others as well, maybe some gold ingots and gold nuggets because I'll be collecting a lot of them. I also want to mention that these shulker boxes here won't actually just stay here in the system. They are going to either come up to the spare shulker box section where I can just use spare shulker boxes, or they will actually go back behind the redstone that I've built over here, behind into these hoppers here, which are filled up with empty shulker boxes, so then the system doesn't just run out of empty shulker boxes. It will actually reuse all of the shulker boxes. And one more thing I want to mention is, if you press the button and the shulker box still has items in it and it goes into the system, instead of it going straight to the empty shulker box area, it'll actually go through the system again, through this area here, be chucked right into these hoppers system right here, so it can actually be organized again and put the items in it back into the system. And then obviously the empty shulker box will be put back into this slot here, which will then go into the system. So then it won't be full of just shulker boxes half full. That's really everything you need to know at the moment. You'll understand as I build it as well and what I am doing. I'm going to hop back onto Dokeycraft and I want to get a good start on this system. I am going to use wool and terracotta for the insides of this storage system because it's easier to kind of read the redstone a little bit more, especially because I got a redstone texture pack which shows an outline of the block as well as numbers showing the power of the redstone signal and stuff like that. So I'm going to use these behind the scenes just so it makes it easier to organize all the redstone. So yes, I'm going to need some wool for these builds. So I'm going to grab some off Ruben if he doesn't mind. I'll leave some diamonds for him. I don't think he will mind me taking some for some diamonds. So yes, I'm glad I've built a shulker farm as well because the amount of empty shulker boxes I'm going to need in the system so it doesn't run out of shulker boxes to fill up is going to be a lot. And when I mean a lot, I mean maybe 10,000 shulker shells-ish. Like, I'm going to need quite a bit. So I need to find the center of this place. So I need to count and hopefully figure out the center. This here is the exact center. So I'm going to build out and I'm going to place down the chest where the input of the items will be. The first thing we need to do is make the shulker box unloader. I'm coming to the realization on how many blocks we are going to need for this. And that should be our first little contraption done. I want to make sure to bring glowstone down as well and make sure I can light up all the areas. So if we put something in that chest, it will come down into the hopper and then get unloaded with the totem of undying in there and the empty shulker box in there. So that works. I am going to put barrels down for now just so I can predict where the output of each of these machines are. So then I can add them on together later on. So considering this machine only sorts out shulker boxes, I made a little area you can either deposit your shulker boxes into here with items, or you can press this button, it'll shoot out a little shulker box which you can actually put your stuff in. Let's test this out. I'll put on some pistons, press the button, it will then go into this hopper, then getting sorted out here. At some point, I'm going to have to make it so shulker boxes will actually get renewed up here, so then this dispenser doesn't run out. They will continuously come back up to here. I'll have to get like an item elevator or something like that. That should now be the next part of the system done. This small little area which will sort out the stackable, the shulker boxes, and the non-stackable. So I want to give this a test. Let's put a shulker box here with redstone torches in it. So I'm going to put these two into the system and see what the output will be. Oh, no, something isn't working. Okay, so when the totem goes through, it takes out the item. So I was able to figure out the problem by adding an extra hopper system here. Instead of taking the shulker boxes back through the system once they have been unloaded, I'm going to use a different hopper system just to lead them elsewhere, which I could have done from the beginning. It was easier just to let the shulker boxes go back in. However, the way I did it before didn't really want to work, so I've done this and it seems to be working really well. Let's test it out with this shulker box. Once that goes in, let it do its thing, and you'll see that my golden carrots are there, my shovel is here, and the shulker box is there. So it's definitely working now. So what I've done here is I've built one of these quick little bulk storage systems for the shulker box displays, and it seems to be all working fine. What I've done is I've actually put a little area up here for rotten flesh, as you can see, of some test objects, and if I dump rotten flesh into here, it will go through the system and into that hopper. I'm going to go grab some more rotten flesh, so I'm going to quickly do that. We've got plenty of rotten flesh at our mob farm, luckily, so I'm glad I chose that. Okay, a full shulker box of rotten flesh, and let's head back. So let's take out all this rotten flesh and let's just fill up this chest here. Let it do its thing. So now that the rotten flesh has gone through, we can see that there is a shulker box in the dispenser waiting for us. And here it is, full of rotten flesh. Perfect. So it seems like it's all working. Obviously, I will be adding details to this. This is just to show you that it's basically working on this server, which it is. So we're going to need, I think, approximately 50 of these in our storage system, if I'm correct. The reason why I'm not going to build any more, though, however, is because I actually don't have a layout for this build. And yes, I've made a big area for the redstone. However, I've got multiple things I want to put in this storage system, such as the storage that I've just shown you. And I don't actually have a layout for this thing. So we've got all this organized. Now we just need to actually make the proper layout for the actual thing, and why am I lagging? So next episode is probably when I'm going to start working on the layout. I've done all the planning and making sure this is all good in the past, how long, I don't know, this episode, how long it's taken, several hours. And so I'm going to do the layout next episode to give me a bit of break from redstone. However, it's not a full break from redstone because the next step of this video is to actually build a ghast farm, which I'm about to go hop into. We've got all the materials, as Starkins was actually very helpful and got the materials for me. But yeah, we need it for the Dokeycraft wall coming up, as we're going to need plenty of end crystals. Ghasties are very handy in general as well, so... And I'd just like to tick off all the automated farms as we go on in this series, so then I don't have to worry about too many things. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's build this ghast farm. So we are back, and yes, we have now built ourselves a ghast farm. If we come down here, you'll see we've got a ghast farm, and they're trying to blow me up right now. They are very loud. Hostile creatures. We're turning down, bro. They are so loud. I'm just hoping they didn't actually blow anything up. But as you can see, it is working really well. This is probably like 30 seconds of AFKing right here. And you could hear all the ghasts screaming as soon as I came back from that AFK spot up there. So this was a very successful build. It isn't a complicated build at all. It's actually very simple. And it will produce between 1500 and 1800 ghast tears per hour. So it's going to be very handy with making plenty of end crystals and plenty of potions as well. So before I finish off for today, I want to just say one more thing, and that is I'm going to AFK this ghast farm overnight, and I'm going to see the results for next episode. And we're going to see the ghast farm results, and we're going to AFK this, I don't know for how long, until next episode. So yeah, I want to thank you all for watching. We got a lot done this episode. Next episode is going to be the usual, building farms, AFKing, but mainly we're also going to work on our storage system again. We want to get a layout done, and we want to get everything else sorted so we know what we are doing. So yeah, I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.